Today on the American Truck Podcast, No Man's Sky was delayed again, Intel released a Boss 10-core processor, and the new season of BBC Top Gear isn't off to a great start. Hello and welcome to the American Truck Podcast with I, Andrew C.
And Jefferson B.
Tommy Oliver, Green Ranger.
And Freelance Gamer. I see what you're doing.
Oh, my nostalgia feels. Because the Green Ranger was my dude. He was my boy.
He was your jam?
He was so my jam. Do we have to slow down for these?
Nope.
Sweet.
Went right through.
Speed.
I'm gonna drive on the wrong
Are we on
side
the
of
Golden Gate?
We are on the Golden Gate.
Oh!
I'm driving on the wrong side of the Golden Gate right now.
This is kind of actually just like driving on any other bridge.
It's a lot shorter in game.
I mean, it's pretty short in real life, too, actually.
No, it's pretty long.
I mean, I will
I
admit,
don't
it's
know.
kind of scenic.
It's
and
almost
those planes are
it's
flying,
almost a mile and a half long bridge.
Those planes are flying just a
That's
bit
kind
too
of... Well, I
close
guess
to
I'm
my
thinking, like,
comfort.
the Oakland Bay Bridge, which is significantly longer
The
than
Oakland
that.
Bay Bridge also has a tunnel attached to it, so
I am
Yeah, but
on
even
my
before the
side.
tunnel, I
it's
think
actually
I could
Two and
not
a half?
successfully make it
Two and a
across
half
the bridge,
bridges.
gentlemen.
Sure.
I am on my
so
side.
yeah. It's so the Oakland Bay Bridge is basically might as well be crossing an ocean.
F7, enter.
Way to go.
Yep.
Way to go.
Take me right
I'm
back
doing
to
like
San Fran.
93. This is good on like roads I shouldn't be doing 93 on. This is pretty good here. And
The
what's on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge? What's that place?
Sausalito, Marin.
Yeah, driving through Sausalito right now.
Sausalito.
Whizzed by it. I mean, like, whew, in and out, gone.
Sweet.
No Sausalito for me. So, there's some news about the American Truck Simulator. Remember how Arizona's supposed to be a DLC?
The first-
Not happening?
No, it is happening. It's in beta
Oh.
right now.
Hooray! Wait, how do you
Aw.
get beta access?
You go to Steam and click opt in to beta. Like, the same way you go to revert the game backwards for the multiplayer mod.
Gotcha.
Just move it forward one
All right.
instead of
Now we
backwards.
can't do that because we're in the
It'll break
multiplayer
your
mod.
game save.
Oh.
Oh, that's a completely different error than I thought we were going to get.
No, it basically, you can't go backwards with your game
Oh,
save.
once you go forward, you can go back?
You can go forward, but you can't go back.
So there's
So,
stuff in Arizona that's unique to Arizona.
right,
Trucks, paint jobs, etc.
right. So it usually, almost always, it messes the save up, which means you couldn't go backwards to get back into the multiplayer
Right. Makes sense.
because the multiplayer doesn't update for betas. So, but that is the thing. If you're not playing the multiplayer mod for a podcast, you can go ahead and set your game to include yourself in the beta, and you'll get access to Arizona right now.
Hooray.
So, but it means it is coming soon though, because it is since it's in their open beta. I'm not sure how soon. They didn't really say, but I'd say within the next month or two maybe.
Sweet. And that'll be our first piece of DLC, right? Officially.
It'll be the second piece of DLC technically. Nevada was also DLC.
Ah. But that was launch day DLC.
It's right. It's the first not launch day one. And I think they said it was like 15 cities that it adds,
Nice.
which will be good because, you know, we drive to the same place every time.
Yeah. Or we drive at least from one of the two.
Basically, yeah. We either drive to the same place or from the same place that we were the last time. So, yeah, it's a lot of that.
It will be free, right?
It will be free, yeah.
Outstanding.
It's expected to be the last free DLC for this game. Everything else will probably be paid, but who knows?
Who knows?
Got bad news for people who like No Man's Sky.
Oh no.
Gotten the delay bug again.
Oh no.
Yep, came down with that. So it's going to release on August 9th instead. 6 weeks.
Any official word as to why it was delayed?
They found some more areas that needed tweaking
Ah.
up to their standard.
Bug finding.
Same reason that they gave the last time.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, this game is never releasing.
It's never going to happen.
It's just not. Like most games, I give like an optimistic, really
Like, it's
not
probably
that
gonna come out.
optimistic. Like, oh yeah, GTA 5, that'll probably come out in August. You don't string people along with release dates saying, oh, it's gonna come out June
almost
something
here.
or other, and then, oh, wait a second, it's almost June, never mind, it's not coming out until August. And then in August, we're going to get 2 weeks away from when it's supposed to come out. And they're going to go, oh, we found another area that we need to work on. It's going to come out in December.
I feel like this is part of this for me almost feels like the artist, like the problem of the artist and the canvas, wherein the artist never truly ever declares their work done. They just keep working on it.
Right, and the problem is they're not just releasing the game and then continuing to work on those areas.
Exactly.
Which is realistically what they need to do. And I'm surprised that
Now-
Sony has not said, no, shut up, stop, we're releasing this game.
Now, it could be that these are major errors, or that there's somebody very prominent within the company that's like, no, we are not doing this. Because...
Well, they've clearly managed to convince Sony multiple times here to not release the game on the schedule that they had set. So, if you haven't been paying attention, the GTX 1080 is supposed to come out. And I looked at the pricing of the non-Founders Editions, and they were supposed to be starting at like, I think $549, and they're all like starting at like $600.
Well, what's crazy to me is that even the non-founders, we're in the non-founders editions right now. Asus is able to still crank out more power. Like there's still hidden potential
'cause they're
inside of this
overclocked.
card.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're overclocking them.
Like that's just crazy to
The
me.
Founders card is never, or the reference card is never overclocked. It's always the stock rates for everything. And then all of your third-party cards are almost always going to be overclocked.
correct. But what I'm
To
saying,
some degree.
my shock and awe here is that the reference card is what NVIDIA bases its benchmarks off of. That's their standard that they go by, which already blew us out of the water a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the 1080.
Right, and then the manufacturers overclocked their cards, and
now it's
blew NVIDIA
that much
out of the
more. It's that much more impressive, and I mean this is just all the more reason to want a 1080
or a 1070.
or a 1070. Honestly, I'm digging
The
the 1070.
1070, so, which is the actual topic that I wanted to bring up. Now we've got enough information about it that they got benchmarks out and they got actual cards to play with. The 1070 is 3 times faster than the Titan X,
Okay.
or 3% rather. It's 5% faster than the GTX 980 Ti.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 42% faster than the GTX 970.
Now, what about power consumption? Do you have any
It's,
data on
I believe it's like 150 watts.
that? Wow, really?
Mhm.
That's kind of astonishing, honestly. I'm thoroughly interested in this 1070, mostly because its price point is that much more competitive.
Right,
And
exactly.
It's not
Although
$600, you know, and I mean, my rig still has a long way to go before I'm even worthy of docking such a card in my PCI slots. But dude, is it nice.
And here's the thing, I kind of expect that the 1070 is going to end up being probably $400, even though the price is supposed to be like $349, just since that's the way the cards have released for the 1080.
Right. Now, if they could get it down to 350, that would be fantastic.
I'm sure they will. It's kind of like the whole early adopter pricing for everything.
Right. Now, even if somebody
Who buys
could,
first
if I could get it
gets it first,
factory
that's the case.
underclocked, and it would then be cheaper. I mean,
The cheapest one is the one that's closest to stock. Yes.
okay, but yeah, I'm interested. It's definitely given me a goal, a PC rigging goal, that one day I'll get around to. I've got a bunch of other stuff that's in the way first.
Hey, so I've got another thing you can upgrade your computer with here.
Hit me.
Intel just unveiled their 10-core Broadwell E processor.
While that is gorgeous, that sounds like such overkill. Lay it on me. How bad is it?
So it's the i7 6950X. Anyone have a guess what it costs?
Wait a second. I
Brand
think,
new Intel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
10
say
core.
$2,000.
10 core.
10
$2,000? All right. Jeff says 2. How's trying to range it? 1600.
1749.
Oh yeah, closest without going over.
There you go. Way to go, Prices Right rules.
And it's already sold out on Newegg.
Are you you serious?
Jesus.
Now, this is a desktop class processor, right? This is not a server grade processor.
Correct. It's considered enthusiast.
Okay. This is designed for the consumer.
I'm enthusiastic about this.
I mean, this is designed for the
Well-
consumer, not for the business.
Correct. Yeah. Basically, Intel has two platforms. Usually, the higher end one, which uses a different socket than the slightly lower end one.
Right.
So the enthusiast one is the higher socket, and then the regular consumer one is the other.
Okay, so it's like the
I don't
prosumer
remember
thing.
them too often.
I can see though, like, if you had anything involving like 3D rendering or
Oh yeah,
any
there
sort
are
of-
use cases.
there are so many
Definitely.
use cases to where like I can totally understand why somebody would want 10 cores, cooking along all at what's it clocking at?
I think it's like 3 gigahertz.
3 gigahertz? Okay, I thought I saw 3.2 somewhere else. It
Could have
it's
been 3.2.
across
But
10
it's low 3.
stable
it's low
cores.
3 gigahertz.
across 10 fully stabilized hyper-threaded cores.
Yep. So it has 20 threads,
So it's 10 physical cores
10 physical cores,
hyper-threaded.
20 threads.
That would complement a 1080 so well. I'm just saying.
I think it probably complements like 12 1080s.
Oh, totally. Which is why you would get like a massive server rig.
It's a bit overkill for just having a 1080 with it.
Right. Well, I mean, if you were doing like OS virtualization, you could run like several Crysis 3 machines off of that rig.
Oh yeah, you definitely could for the low cost of almost $2,000.
Which, when you divide it across 3 or 4 different computers,
Oh yeah,
It scales out.
I guess I see it. I understand.
if that's your use case.
They came with it also. There's new 8-core and 6-core processors, which are not nearly as expensive.
Okay, so much more tame. If anything, that's going to take the market price and pull it back down again.
Got a little tidbit about the Mighty Number 9. Did everyone see the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the internet pretty much agrees that it was one of the worst trailers that the publisher of that game could have ever made.
I don't know if I'd call it one of the worst, but it was pretty bad.
It wasn't good.
It was. Yes.
It was so not good that the developer, the lead developer of Inti Creates, said, "What the hell was Deep Silver thinking when they made that crappy promo?" Hashtag unforgivable.
They probably thought there's nothing they could do with all this bad hype because of the delays. You're like, well, let's just give them something.
I mean, if you turn off the sound, there's gameplay footage.
No, it still looked weird.
No,
So my biggest
the
problem wasn't
game-
even the sound or the jokes. In fact, I giggled a little at one of the jokes.
Mm.
I was more of a just looking at it going, this isn't really good for showing gameplay.
Mm.
And in fact, the parts they're using that are kind of cutscene-y look unpolished.
Yeah, I did notice that some of the things that involved the character models, it felt like they just didn't have any float. They weren't alive.
Source filmmaker.
Yeah, but like when your mouth is a perfect circle and just has this constant expression of shock, like you can't do anything with that. No lips moving, no nothing.
Now here's the thing: is I don't know if like just that part alone, it looks bad, but it's like, well, normally they have source footage they can use, or like they're
Right.
given stuff,
Or
right,
they
by the
give
developer.
they give character models so that they can do some sort of
Yeah.
pre-rendered thing. But
So
no.
is that there's no way that was the best they gave them, right? There's no way.
I really
that
hope
should've
not.
I
been-
could not imagine if the developer is tweeting out that they thought it was a crappy promo.
No, yeah.
Then there's no way that they didn't give them stuff to make a good one.
Right.
I hope
But
so.
did you see the explosion graphics? Did that not look like a pepperoni pizza?
Wait, I didn't actually notice if I didn't even wait. What?
And now I'm gonna have to go
So
back
like
and
the
rewatch this.
way that the explosion textures look, it looks like a cheese and pepperoni pizza.
Pizza.
And it's actually so many people noticed that the Sonic the Hedgehog official Twitter account posted a picture with Sonic in the same pose behind a landscape of pizzas. Like
knowing
pizza
the little
slices.
bit about motion graphics that I do, there's actually a very high chance that is a pizza picture that was used as a texture for an explosion.
Very well could have been.
That would be fantastic.
I thought that was good. I thought it was
Well, It would be pathetic, but it would also be fantastic.
Oh, it's bad. Overall, very bad, in my opinion. Remember, Dr. Ubershadow pre-ordered this game a year ago.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we're seeing?
This is what we're seeing.
This is making me leery
Just a
of the
year
whole
later, and
whole
this
thing.
game has been delayed 3 times, 4 times, 12 times. I don't know anymore.
I've lost count.
Enough times.
Enough times. It's been delayed a lot. It's been delayed as much as No Man's Sky. But if you do feel the need that you need to spend money on this thing that's been delayed 12 times, probably be delayed again. Who knows? It's supposed to come out the 21st, but I don't think so.
How about I just buy it when it launches?
It's gonna be $20 when it does launch.
That's fine.
Okay. Because at least I'll have a guarantee of having a game at that point.
Yeah, none.
Or at least I'll be able to wait out the reviews and see if maybe it was just a bad trailer with a good game behind it.
As
They
the
got me
internet
there.
has reacted to it, they kind of proved that it didn't work for the type of game that it is. The announcer dude was kind of amusing in just the way that it was, but kind of cringy too.
Right. But it
Especially when you see the
definitely had
pizza
your attention.
explosion. Gets real cringy there.
Mm.
Speaking of things that are cringy,
Oh dear.
BBC Top Gear.
Oh dear.
Oh,
I read the article.
Top Gear 2.0, best Top
Top-
Gear EU.
Top Gear 1.2.
Can we just call it Top Gear Vista?
Well, this is why I called it BBC Top Gear, because
We need to be very
it's
careful.
the Top Gear still on BBC.
Yes.
The one sans Jeremy, James, and Richard,
Mhm.
also known as the awful one. So that aired this past weekend. First episode, and they basically spent the entire episode, from what I understand, making fun of the previous hosts.
I read an article about it today, and it's my understanding that you're not alone in this. That there are a lot of people who have a similar feel. Like they felt that it was a bit like awkward.
Right.
I guess is the best word to use.
Yeah. Very awkward.
Yeah.
So they made like a lot of jokes that were related to the whole thing. From what I understand, Chris Evans ran around flailing his arms, claiming that they got custody of the Stig. A lot of it was really in bad taste.
So that would be kind of funny.
but
if-
in
if
really
there was
bad
other good
taste kind
It
of
would
way.
be if it was in any other context
Right.
than like a beloved car show.
Orangutan
What?
named Jeremy Clarkson could make that joke without problem.
Sure. But
Well, when
this is a very
As
sensitive
someone,
subject.
when it's the new host of the show, yeah.
I mean, isn't this like one of the first rules of any new job? They tell you not to speak poorly of the people who came before you.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, I feel like this is just maybe this is just a British thing,
No.
or
No, 'cause-
were they just so nervous that this is them covering up their nervousness in sheer sarcasm and ridicule?
No, I feel like they really thought this was gonna work. That this was
Yeah,
gonna,
it got past an editing crew.
yeah.
It actually probably got past the old editing crew, actually.
No, the new editing crew. The old editing crew is with
They left,
Amazon
right?
now.
Yep, everybody.
Oh yeah, they
It still
pretty
got
much-
past an editing crew and an upper
Yeah.
management.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, it got past people. For sure.
It's like, how,
But knowing full well that this was going to be the first foray of Top Gear since the fracas,
Right.
that's a bit rough.
You had to know that that was gonna be at minimum distasteful.
Yes, I feel like that is a pleasant way of putting it. It is at
So,
minimum distasteful, at maximum rather rude, actually.
So that was it. Well, and on that bombshell, it is time to end. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the American Truck Podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead and also hit that subscribe button. Maybe comment down below about any of our news topics. Perhaps No Man's Sky being delayed again. Whether you want a 1070 or not, or a 1080, you can have that too. Are you going to spend, or have you already spent almost $2,000 on this Intel processor? But you can leave all those down below. We will see you next time.